All right, we live, sir. How about let's take a moment and share. Let me share this thing for a second here. Give me 1 second. Oh,
And we are live now.
hold 1 second. Let me share the show thing. Hold on.
Okay.
You can give the people a little narrative if you like, Mr. Sir. Hold on.
Really? Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Welcome back to Unscripted with your host, Charles Dixon, the Beige Rage, and yours truly, Adam Ford.
That was
Glad you
all
guys.
good, sir.
That was okay. You like that right there?
That was what I said.
All right. Your job might be in trouble.
I see. He's trying to put the moonlight version going on
Man,
everything.
yeah, the Quiet Storm version. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hold on, I got one more share to say on one more page and I'll be done. Hold on a second. All right, so hold
Yeah, come on and invite your friends, invite your family. Well, most of your family in, so we can have this discussion and talk about relationships,
yeah.
and all that kind of good stuff.
He giving them real late night vibes with Adam Ford.
Oh yeah.
He giving them all the late night vibes. All
Mhm.
right, sir. Good evening, everybody. As Mr. Ford said, and welcome to Unscripted. I'm your host, Charles Dixon, and my illustriously intelligently and spiritually sound brother, Adam Ford, has partaken yet again. You know, he's out of rehab, but he's doing well. But anyway, so just letting you guys
It's
know.
only been a week.
No, but
Come on, man.
good to see everybody. Good to see everyone, and so on and so forth. I don't know if you guys had taken a second to see that video that I posted just before this broadcast. But basically, I mean, look, I saw this video, Adam, maybe
Yeah,
over a week ago, and I was going
yeah,
to talk about it before. I just didn't have the chance. But when I saw it, I said, "My goodness!"
yeah.
Like the video is for you all to see. If you all didn't know, there was like this. It started with something I guess at home, so the narrative said, but only to find out after doing more digging. Not only did the guy die, the guy did die.
Oh, he
He did
died.
end up dying. Yeah, it's a post on my page. He ended up dying, but it was something in the house that triggered the anger, but it was triggered really by a history of issues and things, infidelity, all those things in the past in the relationship. So she has reached her, obviously, she had reached her boiling point. I guess I want to say, I forgot the years she said. Did she say 18, 16? What did she say?
18 years. 18 years.
18 years later, it was enough. So the point I'm making is this: when I talk about this, I say, look,
Yeah.
that's when I brought up to you. That's when I brought up on the show, and I said, "Do you know who you are?" And I'm asking that question in the space of the relationship. And I say that because a lot of us, or have been, or current tense, past tense, whatever, have been in relationships where we have, I get it. We're in a pandemic, and even before the pandemic, sometimes the dating landscape can be very discouraging, right? It can,
Mhm.
you can hear stories over to your left and to your right, or you can see this on social media, and you can say, "Man, I'm glad I'm single," or I've heard married people say, "I'm glad I'm married." Heck, you've even joked and said it. You may say, "Man, it's crazy out here. I'm glad this
Yeah.
and this that."
Yeah.
So with all that being said, oh, sorry about that. With all that being said, sorry. With all that being said, I feel as though all of us have the responsibility to make certain that even if we're feeling discouraged, even if we are down, even if we feel like I may not get what I need out of a relationship, I may get hurt, or I don't want to get played. Everybody has the responsibility to make certain that whenever you do connect with someone or decide to be in the relationship, that you are saying to yourself, I need to know what this is.
Okay.
You have that right to say what this is. Now, as a result of the distrust, as a result of the hurt, and as I've heard women say in the past, y'all niggas be on bull, and men be saying the chicks ain't loyal, all of that kind of stuff. All
Right.
of that comes from fractured relationships, right?
Mm.
And as a result of fractured relationships, we all act out in several ways of defense, because all it is defensive actions. And
Okay.
so what happens is, as a result of being afraid, we decide to sign up to these what did I call them earlier? Nameless relationships,
Yeah.
situationships, friends with benefits, hook up, my dip off, whatever you call it. But we do these things because they're convenient, they're easily broached, they're easily to you can connect with them easily. The
Mm.
problem is we're not made out of we're not made out of steel.
Right.
We're human. We
Right.
have a heart of flesh. We have
Yeah.
emotions. We
Yeah.
have desires, and all
Right.
these things. And so, what happens is when these situations come about, yeah, and maybe for the first month or two, you just dealing, and it is what it is, and you're not you shrugging it off. But at some point, one of those mornings or those nights, when that interaction is over, you're not gonna want to leave, or somebody gonna feel some kind of way if somebody handle you kind of carelessly and be like, well, you about to
Right.
leave? Like, I got something to do. I got to go on a date for lunch. And your person like a date for lunch. I was just over here with you last night, but no, this is our arrangement. Remember? So don't
Mm.
get mad. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it takes a certain special type of person to be able to deal with that lifestyle. And like I was telling you earlier, I remember the story where someone was sharing with me that they had made the conscious choice. This is a female. She made the conscious choice to get into a nameless relationship because
Right.
she felt at the time it served her.
Mm.
But ironically, like us men are used to, when as the relationship kind of materialized and I guess became a little repetitious, at some point the man said, I could see myself settling down with somebody like you. And when the lady heard that, she said, oh, in her mind, she said, I probably need to cut this because that's not what I signed up for. I
Right.
only signed up for the nameless portion, not the
Right.
portion of coming on and kids and white picket fence. I didn't want all that. I just wanted to deal.
Yeah.
So this is why I say, if you're a person that know realistically you're going to have your questions, you want to know this, you have gripes, you in your feelings, you feeling some kind of way, the only way to align your expectations is to understand your identity in the relationship.
Yeah.
The identity is what governs the expectations.
Okay.
There with no identity, no expectations.
Right.
Think about, like I told you earlier, Adam. Think about you sitting outside and you and your boys broke into a car and you about to steal this Benz that you saw. But if a,
Mm.
if a cop comes up and say, "What y'all doing?" and you look at him, the first thing you're looking for is legitimacy. Does
Yeah.
he have his gun? Does he
Right.
have his badge? If
Right.
he don't have no badge, even if he got the gun, if he come up to you with a renter uniform on and he does not have the badge to identify himself, you're gonna
Yeah.
say, "Man, let's keep on breaking in this car." So
Right.
it is the same thing in relationships. In relationships, when you operate in nameless relationships, you're not able to communicate your gripe. You know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
say what you will, but and you can
Yeah.
do what you want, but you're not able to really communicate your gripe because you've allowed it to be the so. And I mean, you've allowed it to be status quo. And as a result of that, people are out here now, and I'm bringing this to this, and we're gonna dip into the situation with the lady with the 18 years.
Hmm.
This is my thing. If any of you all saw that video, as graphic and horrible as it was, and let me put the disclaimer out there. Yes, cheating is horrible. Did
Hmm.
I just say that? Anyway, so listen, cheating
Yes,
is
ladies and
horrible.
gentlemen, he
I,
said
I'm putting
cheating
this
is
therapy
horrible.
for myself. This is therapy. Cheating is horrible. Listen, not only is it horrible, it is a horrible habit to take on.
Wow.
When you take on the habit of cheating, a lot of times not only are you cheating on the person, but you become numb to cheating yourself.
Yeah.
You just become numb to it. It
Yeah.
becomes a way of life, and you become numb. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate as it is what it is. And I'm saying that to say the lady was in this video, horrifically attacked this guy. Horrifically. Ran him over a couple of times, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Took off a bumper when
And
she
hit him with
thought
the
the guy was dead and still hit him. And
Mhm.
so, and then she kept yelling, 18 years. I gave you 18 years. Well, I wish I was in the crowd because I would have said to her, you have 18 years of accounts to judge yourself against. 18 years. So here's the point. We live in a day where, you know, everything's about receipts and let me get my receipts and let me check you and find out this and inbox this person. You don't need to do all that. When you find the first offense, that's really enough.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, the first offense is enough for you to know what you're dealing with. Now, I'm not saying you got to run off, divorce, break up, and leave, but I'm just saying that's your moment of accountability at that point. And when you choose to stick in there and hang, you're saying, okay, I'm up for it. I obviously like this person or love this person enough to just deal with this a little bit more. I haven't obviously had enough, right? So the guy that she's in a video with, she's been with him all these 18 years. And the thing that set her off was something about him getting something out the refrigerator. That was
He left
hers.
the rice in the refrigerator. He left the rice
in the refrigerator. But it was about bigger than that. It was about the years of infidelity. But the rice is what the trigger was. And so my point is, if she's up there saying 18 years, I gave you 18 years, yes. Again, abuse is wrong. Cheating is wrong. All of that. However, at some point, we have to start holding ourselves accountable. We cannot continue to blame the other person.
Okay.
Especially when you closing your eyes, laying beside them every night, cooking for them, cleaning for them, doing all these things. This is why I bring up the mistaken identity. You know why? Because sometimes I believe she viewed this guy as her common law husband, although he wasn't. He was a boyfriend that went from one night to 18 years, and he never went home, or she never went home. You know what I'm saying? It became one of those cohabitating situations like we see. Now, I'm not saying that the time don't mean nothing and the person should treat you a certain way because you're not their wife. But the point of it is you have to remind yourself, dig in your pocket and say, do I got the license? No. Okay. And be real with yourself. I'm going to dig in my pocket again. Do I got the license? Does it say Miss So-and-so? No. Be real with yourself. So I think the level of anger that she's showing, it looks like, you know, even though she's taking it out on him because he's the obvious subject, but she's really angry with herself. That's the deep part about it. She's mad with herself because she said, Negro, you got me for 18 years. So I'll stop right there and I'll let you go on, sir. Go ahead.
First thing I want to say is if you had actually showed up and said what you had just said to her, just like my sister Angelina said, she would have drove the car over you. She would have got you, sir.
I would have got some lies. So what do you call that? Die stuff. Just said.
You better bring a can of mace. You better bring 2 cans of mace.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Seriously. Yeah, it was a horrific situation. That was like the most graphic, violent, visceral situation I have seen in, ever, honestly. Yeah. And I think the graphic part of it is the fact that a woman was displaying this degree of aggressiveness and power and just violence against a man. And I think for a lot of us, a lot of us have to admit we haven't really seen that kind of thing like that. I mean, some of us have. I think I haven't in some other situations, but by and large, we don't see that in the media like that on a regular basis. And I think that really kind of like brings a certain level of significance to what we have seen displayed. And it's unfortunate that it has happened like this. And okay, yeah, she missed a lot of signs, obviously, a lot of red flags that were going up in terms of his commitment to her, in terms of how he treated her or mistreated her. But let me just say from the very outset, regardless of all of that, okay, and I don't know whether or not if it was an abusive relationship or not. I don't know whether or not if infidelity was a part of it or not. But you cannot take the law into your own hands.
Correct.
Regardless of how angry you feel, regardless of how mistreated you feel, regardless of the abuse. And we've seen this time and time again, where people have lashed out as a result of the issue. But you can't just take somebody's life. That's you can't do that. That's not right. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my personally, that you cannot do that.
Yes.
Get some help. Go to a shelter. Call the police. Okay. If it gets to that point where you feel like you're about to take somebody's life, call the police.
Yes.
And let them intervene before you consign yourself to a life behind bars for what somebody else did to you.
Wow.
Let's not do that. Let's be better than that. And I'm talking specifically to my Black brothers and sisters. Let's be better than that. Okay. So
but go ahead.
Go.
You know, and I'm only speaking to this point of it because I really think what I'm about to say is the culprit and the catalyst to a lot of the behavior that we saw displayed in that thing there. Unfortunately, as convenient as let's just say extended stayovers, marriage-like relationships are, they're easily to get in without the paperwork and all these kind of things. I'm gonna come move with you. You coming over here? It makes sense to share our money. It's a pandemic, whatever the case. As much as those things are convenient, the disservice we do to ourselves is in practice. And when we practice that type of lifestyle, it promotes in your mind entitledness. It promotes an onerous type of personality. You're feeling like, although this person isn't your husband, isn't your wife, but you're feeling like, but I'm acting like it. And I'm doing everything she or he would. So how dare him or her do this to me? I will take your life. I'm going to tell you something. Now let's take a serious page. I, Mr. Ford, have been in some crazy situations.
Yeah, I know. I hear
situations where, look, let me tell you something. If you can look really good, let me see, where does it start? Can't really see really good. But from here to right there is a scar. You can't really see it. It's a scar.
Okay.
And on my hip. Oh, it's just so much. Nonetheless, I'm just going to say,
Lord.
I've been there, done that when it comes to the retribution, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it, whether it be your car, whether it be this, your property, whatever. And at the end of the day, I can say with a clear face, I've never stalked somebody's home. I've never choked somebody out, whipped somebody's tail, put them in the hospital, none of that. Right? I may have done some psychological damage. Okay, I can be honest. I may have done that.
Okay.
But my point is, again, the stuff I would do, I was doing it to myself. Okay. You may have been a recipient if you were dealing with me at the time, right? But I was doing it to myself. I mean, I was just on this crash course on my own. Nonetheless, I'm saying that to say, when I think about the situations I was in, and I say, when you are playing this role, when you are singing them promises, making them promises, when you are playing the role of something or letting someone assume a role that is not going to check out. Yeah. This is the recipe for the craziness. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
at
So you
some
play
point, we
house.
have to say to ourselves, yeah, at some point, you have to say, like for old boy, the guy that died in that video,
Yeah.
I bet he was saying, yeah, there was obviously something about her that he found comforting, which is why he was still there at 18
Right.
years. Whether he
Right.
was acting a fool or not, there was
Yeah.
something about her he found comforting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, men are not going to stay nowhere where there's no comfort at all.
Okay.
At all, they're not going to
Okay.
do it. So the
Okay.
point is, he found something there. Nonetheless, there was some other things that he was doing that just didn't jive with her, and
Yeah.
over time, it happened over and over again, and she reached her breaking point.
Yeah.
But again, we got to check ourselves because sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes when we are on the receiving end of punishment or mental abuse or infidelity, sometimes it leaves you messed up and scarred. And sometimes you walk away from that thing, or even if you're in it still, you're in it, but you're wounded. And you don't even realize it sometimes. Sometimes your friends and loved ones can pick it out. And they can be
Yeah.
like, what's going on with you, Adam? You act a little, something is this, that, and that. You're like, no, I'm fine, but really no. Adam is damaged because he had to
Right.
endure that type of ordeal. And a lot of times, if we
Yeah.
don't address these things, we carry them on in life with us, thinking we're okay, and we end up in new relationships. Just think about it. If this lady was with this guy for 18 years, and she was able to endure whatever it is she says she gave him 18 years,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere along the line, I don't think this is her first long stint. I don't know how old she is, but you just
Right.
don't just do 18 years. You've done
Right.
some practicing years up to say that. And
Okay.
the point I'm making is he may have, and we're just speculating, inherited a certain personality that was already at level 7 when she met him.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? She was
All
already
right.
at level 7 in terms of frustration and being pissed off and mad and done with men, so to speak. And then
Mm-hmm.
she gets with him. 18 years roll by. Who knows what he promised her, told her. And over time, she took more and more punishment. So when that day came, she was just about fried, done, pretty much. And so when to sit there, because it's one thing to run over somebody, run over them again, get out, and then crash them with a bumper.
With the
Like you
bumper.
trying to make sure the person is dead. Like you gone at that point. And so
Right.
I don't ever want to get to that point. I don't know about you. In a relationship or connection with anybody that I feel like I need to kill to be justified.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what
And
I'm saying?
I think what we need to kind of like focus in on too is, and I think this is something we have talked about before, and I will kind of bring some more emphasis to, and that's the fact that we need to take better care of ourselves,
Yeah.
even if we are in relationships. And what I mean by that is I think a lot of times we endure so much in our relationships, whether it be mistreatment, whether it be infidelity, whether it be all types of psychological and emotional abuse, that we never really take the time out for ourselves in terms of really getting some self-care for us, in
Mm,
terms of getting some healing, some emotional healing, some psychological healing. Because like you said, Charles,
yeah.
she probably did bring a lot of extra baggage with her from previous relationships, which
Yeah.
compounded the issues of the present relationship. And as a
Yeah.
result, you're going to get a psychological and emotional break that
Yeah.
causes the person to completely and totally break down and melt down.
Yeah.
And so that kind of thing is going to happen. So what needs to happen is that we need to really pay attention to ourselves, to our own psychological triggers, to our own emotional triggers, so that we don't get to the point where we become violent and
Mm,
hostile to the person that's in the relationship with us. Because I guarantee you, some of this stuff, he doesn't even know where it came from.
yeah.
He's the recipient of it. He's
Right.
receiving it. And some of it he can say, okay, yeah, I did that. I can own that because I'm taking responsibility because I did that. But for
Right.
some of this other stuff that happened to him was the result of things that went unanswered and unresolved
In her life.
within her because
Yeah.
she did not take good care of herself. When
Wow.
you're in a relationship, listen to me real good. When you're in a relationship, it is absolutely imperative that you take care of yourself.
Mm.
That you are honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it means having a conversation with the one that you're in relationship with, letting know what your grievances are so you can resolve those issues. Sometimes it means you got to go to therapy and you got to
Mm.
talk to somebody to counsel you, to help you to resolve and get healing within yourself emotionally.
Mm.
Sometimes it means you got to get on your knees and begin to pray to God and ask him to help you to get your mind together.
Yeah.
You got to take care of yourself. No matter what it takes, take care of you, because you are the only one that can take care of you.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Wow. No, that's real talk. And a lot of times, you're right. It is something. You know why it's let's just be frank. You know why it's hard for people to take care of you or themselves? Because sometimes when people are in the thrones of the relationship, their mind is automatically in, how can I service this person? How
Mhm.
can I make sure I'm not missing a beat? And look, I don't know. I'm only speaking as a man, but one thing I've heard over the years, when a relationship is going south or it's at a bad point, women will always remind you of their loyalty,
Yeah.
of whatever it is that they deem they did in the relationship. They're going to let you know you messed up or you did this. I was this kind of person, whatever. So I'm
Yeah.
saying that to say, while you are being busy, being present and being circumspect of your goodness, a lot of times what's happening is you're losing you.
Yeah.
You're not taking care of you. You're
Yeah.
busy trying to make things astute with the man or the woman, whoever. You're trying to make things correct, and so that you can say, I'm on my JLB. I'm not slacking. I'm here. I'm doing what a woman or man should be doing." And but technically, what you're doing is you're just pursuing this person and overly caring and attempting to love them while losing you.
Yeah,
That's
and,
what's
and it
really
kind of
happening.
it goes back to what you were talking about in terms of identity
Yeah.
within the parameters of a relationship. Now, to some degree, yes, the relationship plays a part in terms of who I am as a person. It plays a part in my identity as a person, but it is not me totally.
Yeah.
It's a part of me. It's a
Yeah.
part of my life, but I am not my relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need to understand that we are still individuals, and
Yeah.
as much of a part as I am to my wife, and she is a part of me, we are still individuals with individual ideas, different thought processes, different upbringings, different experiences. Neither one of us should ever completely lose ourselves in this relationship.
Wow.
It should not happen,
Yeah.
because if that's the thing, then you no longer are the individual that I fell in love with.
Wow.
You've
Wow.
been so assimilated and absorbed by this relationship that you no longer have an identity outside of this relationship. How then can you offer me anything further or
Man.
more? You got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet as an individual person and give your own self agency to be who you are as a person.
Wow.
Be who you are as an individual. Okay, that's the only way that you can do it. And again, it goes back to the whole thing that I started talking about in
Yeah.
terms of self-care for yourself,
Yeah.
making sure that you have your space and that you
Yeah.
have a moment to yourself, that
Yeah.
you have a area where you can go and be by yourself again, or just seeking help in terms of dealing with all of the various issues that you have in your own mind and in your own life that are gone unresolved. It's
Yeah.
seeking some type of healing and some type of solace to yourself so that you can be whole for the person that you're with. And again, understand this: a broken person can't be in a person's relationship that's whole.
Mm.
You can't be a broken person and get with a whole person.
Wow.
You got to be a whole person to get with a whole person.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. We're getting into relationships and we're broken, we're damaged, we're injured, we're hurting, we're bleeding, we're
Yeah.
crying, we're weeping, and we
Yeah.
haven't done anything to get these things right yet. We want to be in a relationship with a person who's not bleeding, with a person who's not damaged, with a person who's not injured. Get yourself together first so that we don't have another situation where we are completely out of control, literally taking the life of somebody else.
Well, now you're bringing something to mind. Here's another thing. You made me think about something when you're talking about the whole, getting the whole person, getting the whole person.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. we're always, this may not trying to be funny, but it's for real. We always are using God as a crutch.
Okay.
And this is what I mean when I say that. We'll be in a relationship. We didn't consult God before we got the person.
Okay.
We went out and grabbed them because they looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Either we met them, we got them connected. It was that. The minute the relationship goes south, yeah, that's okay. I know God got the best for me because you know what, he on this is only a lesson. No, that's not how it works. You consult him, period, in all that you do.
True.
And if you want to keep things, if that's what you subscribe to, let's just say that. Not everybody subscribes to that. If you subscribe to that, you consult him every step of the way. We have to stop using God as a magic genie lamp. That's not who he is, right? He's always watching and caring and talking to us always. He's not just there to rescue you in trouble. He's there to prepare you to avoid it if you listen. He's there to encourage you he's trying to deposit into you so that you can be whole. Not it's us that run away from that voice, not him. But a lot of times we run and we go and we want to use God as hocus pocus at the end or during the trouble. When he's sitting there like, I was sitting here in the room listening to y'all Negroes curse each other out since you said I do. But now you want to reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we need to check that. And on the subject of the identity piece, like any other thing that we're granted a license or an ID, they expire.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that you check in with your person and say, hey, it's 6 years into this marriage or 6 months into this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is expiring in August and you started off in January. It's expiring in August. What do you think? Oh, I'm granting this. This is good. We're going to keep this going. But you need to know where you are because some people are in situations and the license is revoked. You run around here dirty and suspended relationships.
Yeah.
It is not what you think. You understand what I'm saying? So
it's not.
You
know what? Let me just piggyback on the whole issue of God in your relationship. Here's the thing with God when it comes to your relationship. He will direct you. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. He'll direct your paths in terms of what direction that you ought to go to in terms of seeking somebody who can be a mate for you. But he's not going to make the decision for you.
Yes.
Okay, that's the first thing. He's given you enough intelligence, enough cognitive and cerebral energy to be able to make the decision for yourself. Not only that, but if you allow, since we go on in the God direction, if we allow the Holy Spirit to lead us, okay, and not only that, but to operate in the area of discernment in terms of potential people to be with, then we're not going to make a foolish decision. Okay. Having said all that, let's deal with this. So you make the decision to be with who you're going to be with, okay? And you decide to get married, okay? And you're going through or whatever, like then you guys are having arguments and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're just not getting along. But then you want to blame God for the issues that you're having.
Yeah.
When you really did not involve him in the first place. You didn't involve him. He wasn't a part of the process, but now you want to blame God. Here's what we don't understand. God is saying, I have given you and empowered you to be in control of your life. Does it not say in the book of Genesis, let them have dominion over the earth, over every creeping thing, over everything. So he's given us dominion over the earth. Yeah. Not only has he given us dominion, but what he's actually expecting from us and part of the dominion that he's given to us is for us to be responsible. And we don't like that word.
Yeah.
Because responsibility means, now the onus is on me. Now I have to be responsible for my decisions. I have to be responsible for the mess of life that I made for myself. I have to be responsible for all the destruction that I've created in my own area and the people that I messed over. I have to be responsible for that. We don't want to be responsible.
Wow. And
We want everybody else to be responsible, but we don't want to be responsible for what we have done. I'm here to tell you here and now. God is not going to clean up your mess.
Wow.
You are going to clean up your mess.
By cleaning up you.
That's right. By taking care of you and being responsible for you. You have a duty in your relationship to be responsible for you.
Yes.
You can either have a good relationship or a bad relationship, but you know what? It's on you. What you going to do? And that's what God is saying. I've given you all these resources. I've given you all these blessings. I've given you all this grace. Now you be responsible for what you're going to do with your life and stop blaming everybody else.
Yes. Now let me ask you a question, sir, while we're sitting there. As you're sitting there at your computer on this show, if you were to get up right now and walk over to your refrigerator and find some orange juice in there, who is the onus of that responsibility on?
Me.
All right. Do you think it was, did God tell you to go to the refrigerator, open up and find the orange juice? Or you purchased it and you know it's probably in there?
He ain't going to tell me. I'm going to go to myself.
This is what I'm also saying. This is why we need to take ownership of our lives and our things. And let's just, again, put God in his proper perspective and leave him, if you're going to have him, leave him always there, right?
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, that's a sign he did this. No, it's not a sign. It's called, if you inquire, you're going to find out. If you pull over a stone, you're going to see. If you call down there, if you go over there, if you look, guess what? You're bringing your reality to yourself. That's why sometimes when you're in these relationships, you got to just flat out look. If you're dealing with where Bruce said, okay, listen, Bruce. If Bruce will tell us he's 51, I don't know, 51, 52, whatever, 51. Bruce has said all these years on this earth. If Bruce were to go out here and find someone tomorrow, if he wasn't in a relationship or whatever, and found someone new, and he was just like, hey, and if that person comes into Bruce's life, if she thinks after 51 years of living that Bruce doesn't have any, you know how you lift up the couch arm and you see pennies under there, nickels, food. If you're thinking that you're going to encounter a person and that person is going to be absolutely squeaky clean, you're out of your mind.
Well, here's the thing, Tom. Watch this. So if they're squeaky clean, 9 times out of 10 means that you're not, which means you're still not a match for them.
Correct. But that's what we look for. We go out here and we meet people and we're looking to just be like, oh, you're not this and you're not this. No, at the end of the day, you have to allow people. You can have someone can say, Adam, they dated you 20 years ago, and they can be like, he get on my nerves. He's a jerk. Maria could say, Adam is the greatest man I've ever known. Because you know why? Each relationship, we provide the version that the person pulls out of us.
That's true.
Everybody can have their story, and it can sound similar, but people perform for who treats them best.
Okay.
You get the best out of them according to the way you treat them.
You
treat them hellacious, you're going to get hell.
That's
right. Treat them kind with respect, you'll get respect. And the thing of it is, we want people to give us this and do this and treat us and give me the world. When you're not allowing that person, allow people to give you them. Stop trying to snatch something out of people. Give them the chance to give you who they are. I don't care how imperfect, I don't care the lies, the tricks, whatever. Everybody know what they come with in their backpack to the relationship. So they already know, okay, I got some weights back there. It's a little heavy. I got a heavy situation over there. I probably need to unpack this. That person is grown enough to know it. They don't need you when they're asleep to go over there and say, I'm going to unpack this backpack because this needs to get up out of there. Let stuff happen on its own organically. If you feel like you need to do it, that probably equates to you needing to cleanse you. Because I always say this all the time. To the pure, all things are pure. It's only corrupt when you have a history of corruption. That's why you see corruption so clearly, because you're corrupt. We need to get this in our mind, and let's stop this onerous stuff. Like this lady talking about 18 years. I gave you 18 years. 18 years. And I would have drove by in the car. I wouldn't have stopped. That's what it said. Fool. 18 years then. Don't get mad. Let's be call it what it is. You gave him the 18 years. Don't run over the man. You gave him the years. Come on, let's just be
Right.
honest. It's men
Yeah.
that have done the same thing. Have given women time and their heart been hurt too. It ain't just men hurt women. Men get hurt every day. It's just
That's right.
life. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, with the whole 18 years thing, okay, yeah, I understand. You know, we have some longevity. We've been in this thing for a while now, but you cannot hold me responsible for your unhappiness in your life.
Yeah.
You can't hold me because you weren't happy when you came in. So I don't know how you thought I was going to make you happy once you got in. You needed to be happy before you got here.
Right.
The only thing that I'm going to do is extenuate that. That's the only thing that I can possibly do. But if there's no happiness with you, then you for certain you're not going to get. I can't make you happy. Again, I'm just saying it over and over again. You got to be responsible for your own happiness. Just like I don't hold my wife responsible for my own personal happiness. Does she make me happy? Yeah, but I'm not holding her responsible for that. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. I make myself happy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's all I'm saying.
That's a lot of pressure
too
for
much
anybody.
pressure. That's too much pressure. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here we are literally placing the onus on the wrong person. If anybody can make you happy, it's God all day long. It's God all day long. That's the only one that can actually make you happy. And even then, he's not gonna force it on you.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna force it on you. He's there.
But let me tell you, I can speak for myself, a mistake that I've made over the years when it comes to this whole happiness thing. And even to this very day, I still do something habitually. And let me tell you what it is.
Okay.
You know, trying to call yourself, being over the years when you call yourself trying to make sure someone's happy, or you just spend all your time trying to make sure you're doing this, or did I do enough of that? I need to pull back on this. You're trying to do all these things. But to this very day, I could be on the phone, Adam, and I may say more than 10 times during the conversation, but you okay though? Is everything all right? You good? You know why I say it? Because it's a habit.
Okay.
It may not have nothing to do with the conversation at all. I could be talking about the game, a restaurant, something to do, but I may come back and be like, you okay? Everything's all right? Because in my mind, over the years, I was conditioned to feel like I just had to be in this space where I had to constantly pursue someone else's happiness.
Wow.
Even at the state of losing my own.
Yeah.
I had to constantly make sure, are you good? You good? Because in your mind, if you're not good, then we got a problem, right? If they're not good, we got a problem. So you're constantly trying to make sure they're good, but all the while you're losing you.
Yeah. And that's never
all
good.
The things that make you who you are crumbling by the wayside because you're constantly trying to make sure someone else is good.
And so you can't, that's not a reasonable expectation for anybody to have for any other person. If you can ask me how I'm doing and I say that I'm good, but you can't really change it for me. Not really.
Yeah.
I have to get active in changing it for myself. And I think we become so lazy, so lethargic, so complacent in our lives in these modern times where we want everybody to do something for us. We it's almost as if we have a mindset or a mentality of entitlement where everybody has to come and serve us and make sure that we're happy. No, we're not here to serve you. It's not about you. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Be responsible for your own life. Be responsible for your own success. You got culpability in this. You can't just walk away from it and expect somebody to do it for you. You got to be deliberate. You got to be on purpose with how you live your life and stop expecting things to just happen in your life. That's not how relationships work. You got to put some effort in it. You got to put some time in it. You got to invest some energy and some resources in it. And if it's not good, you make it good. Y'all got the wrong one today. I'm sorry. Y'all got the wrong one today. I'm just not for no stuff, man. Look, let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's stop sugarcoating this and let's get to the heart of the matter. You're unhappy. Okay. Figure out what makes you happy. Get some peace in your life. Get some healing in your life. Go to therapy, for crying out loud. Jeez. We can do it online. We can do it via Zoom. Come on, man. Come on.
No,
Zoom psychiatrist. Come on, man.
But I'm telling you, we have to stop the blame game, and we have, like you said, we have to take responsibility.
Take it.
Like if I'm like if you're the man, if you initiated the breach, take the responsibility. I messed up. I'm gonna own it. Okay.
Right.
If you're the lady, if you know you haven't been necessarily crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's in the relationship and or marriage, own it. Don't blame. It's easy to blame someone else for where you think you're not, or what your return on investment didn't come. It's easy to do that, but it's hard to absorb your own truth of failure. It's hard to absorb it, but you need to learn to just own it, own your part in the demise, and that's the only way you can start to build from there. You know.
Yeah. You know what, don't I? And I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna be real honest and brutal with y'all today. Look, I have problems in my relationship, in my marriage. It's not always happy go lucky every single day.
Yeah.
It's not. Sometimes I mean we do good though. I ain't gonna lie, we do good. But
Adam on the live talking about you.
But we have more good days than we do bad days. And here's the thing about the bad days. The bad days are when we don't necessarily see eye to eye on something, but we don't sit here and blame one another for the issue. We figure out what we need to figure out. We have a talk about it, even if the talk is not pleasant, even if the talk feels uncomfortable, even if the talk doesn't really even answer the issue, but at least we're having a communication with each other to work toward a solution.
Right. Wow.
There was something that went down maybe about a week or two ago, and we was like, yeah, what's up? Well, what's up then? What's up? But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I said after a day, I said, you know what? I'm not really sure what to do. And she said the same thing. And so we started dialoguing about where we really were. And then through that dialogue, we came up with a couple of steps that would help us get to where we need to go. But nobody was pushing the blame on anybody else. We were both taking responsibility for what we did and did not do. Wow. As a result, we're still hanging in there. Wow. We still, come on, let's be real with it. Everything is not going to always be the way that you want it to be. When are you going to take responsibility and you figure out what you need to do with it? Wow. That's what this really is about. This woman, in terms of what she did, in terms of how she felt, in terms of her going completely ballistic and hostile, sitting here blaming the man who she ran over with a car twice, still railing at him, spitting on him, but prior to never really took responsibility for what she should have took responsibility for. Because I promise you, there's two sides to every story. Okay, you're saying that he did this and he did that, but what did you do? Wow. Wow. What is your culpability in this relationship? You can't sit here and just blame him for what he did and didn't do. What didn't you do? Or what did you do? Come on, let's be real with it. Come on. Wow. And the thing is this. I don't know. I can't speak for her in-game desire, but I want to believe if she didn't have an in-game desire, she wouldn't have hollered out the time she put in. The reason why she hollered out the time she put in, because she had a desired end that did not come to fruition. And the reason why she was angry is because whenever a woman gives a man that kind of time, 18 years, she's not only giving him her time, but she's given some good years of her life. Okay. Maybe the hourglass year turned into the keg year, whatever. Just make an example. He's dealt with her due seasons. And so maybe she was one way one time, one way over here. And all the while he has been there and she's been there for him. However, maybe in her mind, she said,
I love so and so, whatever his name is, but I wonder if he ever make me his wife. Because I sure
Mm.
played the role long enough, right? I
Okay.
played the role long enough. I wonder if he'll ever make me his wife. And
Right.
so that would make someone, not only is she's gonna check her, she's gonna look at herself, she's gonna be resentful of him for not pulling the trigger, but she's also mad at herself for allowing it. She just didn't express that, but she's mad for saying, I allowed him 18 years to not really show and prove who he thinks I am to him. Like, am I his value? Am I valuable to him? You understand what I'm saying?
Why hang into a relationship for that long a period of time? And okay, we don't know whether or not she opened up her mouth to say what it was that she really wanted. We can only assume that maybe there was a conversation at some point in time. But my thing is this: you can't just do that. You can't just do what you did and it be okay. Okay, you didn't get what you wanted. Now, either you're gonna do one or two things. Either you're gonna stay there and you're gonna fix it, or you're gonna leave.
Well, that's it.
What you gonna do? Come on.
Yeah,
you can't. Right, one or two. But my thing is this. My thing is this, and I'm gonna say it just like this. Look, if you're not talking to me, I can't read your mind. You throwing around hints. I don't do hints. Be as blunt as you gotta be, and let's talk about the real issue. Stop dancing around it. Stop pussyfooting around it. Let's deal with the real issue as it is. You want to get married. I'm not sure I want to get married. Maybe we're not good for each other. Maybe we need to part ways.
Come on, let's be clear.
Let's be clear with it.
Yeah, be clear.
I don't look. Let's not do all this insinuating and trying to read the context clues of what your conversation is as to what you really want. Say what you really want. You have not because you ask not. And when you ask, you're not even asking for the right thing. Come on.
Wow. And here's the other thing. We have to understand that language matters. Even in the confines of a commitment, even in those 18 years, we have a way as people of talking to each other like dogs, saying all kinds of stuff, hurling threats, and I'm going to do this, and especially when it comes to the opposite sex, or I'm going to do me and all this. Guess what? When people hear those kind of words, if you're in a relationship with any kind of sensible person, and if you're angry a lot, you guys are fussing, but you're always hurling what you're going to do. I'm going to go do this. I probably need to be with this person. I probably should have never been with you in the first place, Adam. All you're doing is giving the other person a head start to leave you alone. Okay. No one is going to sit around and wait for you to bury them. Yeah. They're not going to wait. No one wants to be hurt. That they might still be there, be around you, but trust and believe they are guarding themselves. No one is going to sit there and be thinking this person is likely making a fool of them, likely. And especially when they're telling you they're going to do it and you're going to sit there and deal with it. No, it's not going to happen like that. So, you got to understand them words matter. And if you say them, you better stand on them or be able to deal with the outcome. One of the two.
Yeah. And I think this the whole situation is just tragic. And I just sitting here thinking about, her reaction and her response to this, in terms of her identity. And so now that she's done what she's done, she's destroyed her identity. If there was ever any attached to the relationship, her identity is obliterated.
Yeah.
Because if her identity was based on her being in this relationship with this particular guy and she killed the guy, then it's done.
It's a wrap.
You can't get that back. And see, this is why we need not make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions.
That's it.
You're making a permanent decision about a temporary emotional state that you're in.
Yeah.
That's no good. That's no good. We got to do better.
Hitting that man like that on that ground was not about no rice.
No, it wasn't.
It was not about no red beans and rice. It was about something far worse than that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. She losing her mind over what? And see, that's the thing. It could have been so much different. It could have been so much different in terms of what she experienced in her own life if she had just taken a moment to, first of all, look at herself Say, okay, you know what, baby? We can do better than this. He's not giving us what we want. We can do better than this. Pack up your stuff and go if need be. Or, like I said, stay there. But if you're going to stay there, deal with relationships issues.
Get the help.
Yes, get the help that you need to get. But rather than doing all of that, so you stay for 18 years, nothing ever changes. And then one day you just completely lose it and you make a permanent decision that will affect the remainder of your life over a temporary emotional state.
But guess what? Here's another thing. You just don't get that angry overnight.
No, you don't. That's years.
He's not alive. He's not alive, unfortunately, to tell us. But I guarantee you, he has seen the monster a few times before.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It just became extreme this time. It was extreme to the end. But you don't people just don't get so angry that time over some rice to the point where you just go black and run over somebody twice and hit them with a bumper. No, that's a malicious mindset that you already had. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just it's like I said, it's just unfortunate because now and see again we don't know if they were children as that were produced as a result of this relationship. I'm getting the feeling that it was because they were together for 18 years, so it might be that there were some children involved in this. Now they have to deal with the fallout and the ramifications of what their mom did in this state of mind. They have to deal with the fact that their mom killed their dad, whether they were married or not. Okay. And that's something that is completely traumatic. And now what's happening is we are perpetuating a cycle of violence in our relationships. Because if the children see this and they understand this, who's to say that they don't go and perpetrate the same cycle of violence against those that they are in relationship with? We need to understand the bigger picture here, y'all. We need to get this and we need to get it straight sooner rather than later. Because I promise you, this won't be the only occurrence of this happening.
Yes.
If we don't nip this in the bud now.
Well, you know what's happening? This is something that I've said over the years because I've seen malicious fights like this before. And I said, you know what? And I even see it in our younger generation when they're like they kill these girls, these boys come up and shoot these girls and do all this stuff, and the women stabbing, the girls stabbing the boys, killing them. And I said, you know what, somewhere we have missed the opportunity to share with the younger generation the truth about rejection and that it happens. And people do not know how to, even adults, we as adults don't know how to deal with rejection. When someone decides to not like us anymore or to go over here and do this, that, and the other, we internalize it. We take it personally and we take it as an act of war. So nowadays you see people responding differently. This isn't, once upon a time, back in the day, we can all say, man, that couple downstairs used to fight all the time. I would hear them cuss each other out and all this kind of stuff. But nowadays, it's final. It's finality. When we beefing, if we get into it, whatever comes out of it at that moment is what it is. You did this to me. Don't you cross me. Don't you cheat on me. Don't you do this. I will kill you. I will end you. All of that crazy language is what we do today. And that's so unhealthy.
It is. Totally.
Totally.
Man. We got to do better. We got to do better, man.
Yes.
We got to do better. Look, we got enough. Lord have mercy, y'all. We got enough stuff trying to kill us. Let's be honest. Including ourselves. We got enough stuff right about now that's trying to take us out. Okay? So let's not let this be a part of the list.
You know what? And like back in the day, we used to do this as kids. We had an understanding of this as children, but as adults, we don't. How many times were we younger when we got out there and played games, right? We played games with one another. And the minute we didn't like how the game was going, I quit. We quit and we were left. We took our ball. We stopped playing. And even under the ridicule of people saying, oh, you little crybaby, go ahead and leave. Take the little ball, you little punk. Even after that, we left. Well, today, guess what? If you see the games, if you're experiencing the games, the lies, whatever, take your ball and leave.
That's right.
You don't have to stay in the game. If you think it's a game, you don't have to stay. If the game is, because guess what? If you stay in the game and you know it's a game, you are the game. If you stay there and you know it's a game, you the game. So you can't get mad at somebody because of it. You know, it is what it is. You know?
Yeah. So all these, this is not even worth all playing all these games, man. It's not even worth it, Joe.
Yeah, but you know what, man? It's the sad thing is we have become weakened so much as people that really the games is what we put forth first. Which is no longer your heart and soul and your genuine substance of who you are. People now are just trying to survive by maneuvering around you first and let the substance catch up later. But first, I need to maneuver you. I need to condition you a certain way mentally. Let me use this mind muscle before I give you that. That's where we are. That's why we need to be realistic with each other and get back to the basics of healthy loving. Because right now we got some unhealthy situations going on.
Well, let me put it to you like this: until you learn how to love yourself, you cannot love anybody else.
That's it.
That's all that needs to be said for this. You cannot love you. You cannot love anybody. I don't even want you near me. If you don't know how to love you, bye.
Man.
I mean, come on. Isn't that the golden rule? Isn't that the golden rule? Love your neighbor as you love yourself, but you can't love your neighbor because you don't love yourself.
Wow.
I'm done. Wow. I'm out.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, y'all.
Hey, Bruce, that's a book, Bruce. Pimp Games versus Healthy Love. That's But no, all right, y'all. We appreciate you all for hanging on in there for us, listening. This was just one of them situations that I just felt we need to speak on. We getting crazy out here, and we got to, everybody take accountability for what they do and what they're not doing, and we got to just be more clear. And if we're not in the relationship to be in it, then we just need to if we know that we're not going to be able to produce, as Bruce says, produce in the relationship, we need to be realistic and walk away. If not, all of that.
Yeah, that's real.
All right, and as usual, let's continue to heal the world one heart at a time. And thank you all for tuning in to Unscripted. We will be back soon. I promise we won't take a long break. Yeah, blame me. Don't blame
me. It's on him, y'all. It's on him. Y'all heard him, right? Y'all heard him, right?
Yeah. Break. All right. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. All right.
Good evening, guys. He just signed off. He just signed off around. He's still alive. I think he messed up. He didn't do this right. But I'm gonna leave the studio so he can shut down. All right, guys. Have a good evening. See you later. Bye-bye.